This week we talk with author and blerd E.A. Noble. We talk about building community, the importance of creating in this time in history, and plus-size superheroes. All that and more, so stick around and find out more of what Demand does. DJ Prime, play the music. Welcome to Demand Does, Conversations with Creatives. It's your nerd space, safe place, and where you may find your new fave. I am Demand, father of two, husband of one, and leader of this here Demodcast. My next guest is an author that's blerdy through and through. From anime to watching streaming gamers, she's always aware of blerd Discord. Ladies, gentlemen, or wherever you are on the non-binary spectrum, make some noise because she's in the game. E.A. Noble!
Thank you for that introduction.
You are very welcome. Thank you for taking time out to talk to a perfect stranger. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I mean, despite what's happening in the world today, I am happy to be present and to be taken a part of an opportunity to speak to another creative. So,
Samesies. Samesies.
yeah,
We're gonna go. I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. So we'll see what happens, I guess.
keep going because we need a positive light in such a negative world. We do need voices and people such as yourself to continue to shine a light on voices that need to be heard. So, yeah, ride it to the wheels fall off.
So before we get into this I guaranteed interesting conversation, where would you like to be found on the internet?
You can find me at author EA Noble or at EA Noble across all platforms. Well, not all, but the major ones. But mostly I am on Substack where I write my fantasy horror, Mississippi Gothic, and where I break down AAE and Ebonics, Gullah Geechee, and just Black culture in general. And really, Substack is where you can get a very close and intimate relationship with me there. But feel free to follow me everywhere.
EA Noble, Miss EA. Are you ready to have a creative conversation?
I am ready.
When did you know you wanted to become a writer?
I knew I wanted to write the first moment I picked up my pen. It's funny because, growing up in the Black culture, one of the things that our parents always teach us is, you know, don't be telling them stories. And the first time I ever heard someone tell me, and she over there lying, she just telling stories. And I think to myself, why not? They're fun. Let's make it all up. Let's see how far we can go. And so I always had a telling stories, I should say, spirit about me where I love to fascinate about, worlds upon worlds and different people's characters and their perspectives. I always used to sit on my bus to school and think, I wonder, in regards to the people that are passing by, that we're passing by, I wonder how their life is like. What would it look like? And then I'll go on and dream of worlds with these people inside. Also, it helped that I had undiagnosed ADHD. So there you go. But yes, I've always known that I wanted to write ever since I was a kid.
That is awesome. That's a great story. Speaking of these worlds that you've created, you have a couple projects that we're going to talk about, and I want to talk. You listed them to me in a different order, but I want to talk about this one first.
Okay.
Supersized bubblegum. Please describe it to the people, because if I do it, I probably won't be able to do it justice. Describe it to the people, and then tell me as much as you can without spoiling stuff.
Okay, so Supersized Bubblegum is my superhero fantasy about fat women gaining superpowers to take down a multi-million-dollar corporation all because they messed with the wrong friend group. There's found family, there's romance, and there are fat women that don't play about their partners, their friends, and they are becoming the heroes to which we need. If you like The Boys, then you will probably like Supersized Bubblegum. Have you ever watched The Boys?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Okay, then you will like it. You'll like Supersized Bubblegum because it can easily be set in that type of world. It's less political, but it still shows like the underdog that has to go up against bad or superheroes acting badly or just bad superheroes.
See, all right, let me go ahead and write this down. To be bought. Supersized, but I almost don't want to ask you about when blood meets earth because I have a feeling that's going to go on the stack too. But you know what? I have an obligation to the people. They need to hear about it. Go ahead.
Oh.
Tell me about my next to be bought.
When Blood Meets Earth, it's a character driven epic fantasy set in a Pangea world where, magic, elemental magic has been blessed upon humanity. And the story begins with Bellamy, which is an earthborn princess who is trying to discover her magic and who she is. If you like Avatar The Last Airbender, if you like Korra, you will like When Blood Meets Earth.
You got me again. You got me again. You got to be cool as hell to hang out with.
I don't know, I don't know. But I do love anime. I do love watching anime. Anime has influenced my perspective. I feel like I want to say anime has raised me, all the way from Yu Yu Hakusho and, to Bleach, and growing up in that sphere. So to have that underdog. It's the underdog that I love so much. So it doesn't matter if I'm writing horror or fantasy, I always tend to root for the underdog. In most of my books, it has that found family, that hey man, that power of friendship that we're going to conquer the big bad. And sometimes we might fail, sometimes we might succeed, but the point is that we're doing it together. Community is very important.
What do you wish you had known when you first started out?
Ooh, this is a big question because I wish I would have known so much. And if you are a writer out there listening right now, oh my God, the amount of things that I've learned after the fact. One, I wish I would have known to start with short stories. Short stories are such a great way to learn your craft quickly and to begin and end a story quickly. A lot of new writers have so much trouble ending their stories. They'll start and it'll take them 10 years just to complete the draft. And if you just start small, then the big doesn't seem so far fetched. So start with short stories. Not only that, I wish I would have known to seek out workshops and residencies and critique groups when I first started. Oh, okay. So before I had to become an adult, right, and work a 9 to 5 job, I had the opportunity to like go on residencies and online virtual workshops if that's the case, or meet with critique groups. Go to your libraries and see if there's any critique groups there. And if not, create one because those key things will strengthen you as an author. It will get your mind with like creative juices flowing, get your creative juices flowing, and it would educate you in ways that a English degree just can't do it. It's applied practice. And I just think that I wish I would have started there when I first started out as a writer. And now that I have a 9 to 5 job, I can't take out, 4 or 5 weeks to go on residency. I can't go to places like Clarion West is a great workshop that have a 6 week workshop that's slap in the middle of the day and I can't partake of that. You know what I mean? I'm so sad that I'm not able to do those things. So if you're able to do those things in your early career, do them.
Is the advice the same for someone who is more established in their quote unquote real life?
Is the advice the same? Can you read? Can you tell me that question a different way? It's not computing. I'm sorry.
How would it be different for somebody starting later?
Yeah, okay. I got you. I got you. We're on the same page. I got you. So my advice would be a little bit different when it comes to those who are starting a lot later and they don't have time. They have to work a 9 to 5. They have family. I would tell you to cultivate your community. That is your biggest thing. That is your number one thing you need to have on your list. Cultivate your community because it is your community that will keep you focused, that will help you sharpen your skill, that will hold you accountable, and they will lift you up when things get hard and things get lonely because being a writer is sometimes a thankless, lonely job. And we all have a slight kink for punishment if you choose the author path. So cultivate your community, make sure it's strong, don't fill your circle with yes people that's just like, oh, your writing is so good, blah, blah, blah. If people give you too much good, like showering, that like that's good sometimes, We love to hear the positive things. But if you want to be a serious writer, make sure you fold and critique people in your community, people that know how to go through and rip a story apart. Because in that ripping apart, you create yourself anew and you get to explore and push yourself to bounds that you didn't think you would ever get to, push yourself or explore. So just make sure you have the right people in your community that will push you forward because if not you will look at that manuscript and that cursor is going to blink and you're going to sit there for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months into a whole nother year and you haven't written a thing. So make sure you cultivate your community.
What's your go to order at your favorite hometown restaurant?
Oh my gosh. I thought about this so hard. And let me tell you, I'm ashamed that I don't know this restaurant's name. Matter of fact, I tried to Rolodex my memories, if that don't show my age. But I tried to rewind my memories to figure out, does anyone I talk to know that restaurant? I even called my friends that are back in Mississippi and I say, you know that Fish Jawn that on the corner of, so and so street? Do you know that name of that restaurant? And they was like, you mean the Fish Jawn? That's not the name of the restaurant. It was like, well, yeah, but that's what everybody call it. The fish corner. But what's the name of it? And she's like, I don't know. I asked my grandmother, like, Grandma, do you know the name of the fish place? And she was like, Nah, it's just a fish place from the corner. So I'm gonna say, back in Mississippi, I really, really, really miss the fish joint on the corner that everybody went to. They had the best catfish and the best white bread and the crispiest fries. And I think they homemade their hot sauce. It is the best. So shout out to the fish joint on the corner. Craziest part is, and maybe I don't know if it's just me and my house, but my family, we love fish fries. And as I'm talking to my family about the fish joint on the corner that we all went to, I was telling them about the other fish places. They was like, and no one knows their names. They just know the streets that they're located on. So the fish joint on the corner is the one that's closer to our house, and then the fish joint on Martin Luther King Street is the one that's like 2 blocks. So you know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh my God, what is wrong with us? Can we please? Can we get a name?
I love us so much. Oh my goodness. So has it been there as long as you can remember?
As long as I can remember, it's the Fish Jawn on the corner, and it's literally a block away from my house. It's located in a gas station, which I don't even remember what the gas station name is, but but it's like the best fish, and you can smell the fish down the street. It makes your mouth water. It's just, oh, I miss it. I miss fish. I miss fish fries in general, but I definitely miss the fish drawn on the corner.
What are you curious about?
How can I not be? Every single thing is a curiosity to me when it comes to story, when it comes to studying story, when it comes to genre. I don't know. There's a lot of authors who say, "Oh man, I don't know what to write about." And I always say, if you don't have nothing to write about, then you're not curious enough. What are you interested in? What do you want to do? What are some strong opinions that you have? What do you see in the world? When you go to the park, are you fascinated about how grass moves in the wind? The other day, I was writing a short story and I realized I don't know how lungs work. And I know that's crazy because I'm a grown woman, but I didn't know how lungs worked. And I Googled it and it turns out like when we suck in air, we inhale, it goes through our air sacs, and the air goes through the air sacs down to our bloodstream. It mixes in with the bloodstream, and then the bloodstream, releases. And so when we on our exhale, we release carbon dioxide from the bloodstream. And I'm just like, holy crap, I had no clue. Who else didn't know about this? Who else didn't know this? And so now I had to tell all my friends how lungs work. So I am always curious about everything. And if you really want to write and become an author, your number one asset or your number one talent should be curiosity.
What should I ask you that I didn't know enough to ask?
I don't know. I really don't know about this question because I think that with the questions that have been asked already, I think people get a pretty good idea of who I am. I'm a mad scientist over here. But just in case, I am EA Noble and I write about queerness and identity and disability and neurodivergence and feeling othered and being the weird black girl or being the weird black boy. I write and I create for us and I make a home for us. So if you didn't know, now you know.
Have you had any interactions with any readers who you felt got it, got what you just told me from your books?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And so much so that I won a 2005 Indie Lit Award for When Blood Meets Earth. And on top of that, it got an book box for Satis Fiction Box, which is a black led book box that celebrate Black authors and their stories. And it actually comes out this month, so a special edition book box for it. And that's a big deal for a nobody indie author like myself, that people looked at my manuscript and they felt so deeply about it. They were that a book box was willing to take a risk on me to celebrate and uplift my voice for When Blood Meets Earth. And that means so much to me. And I'm so grateful and thankful for it. There's people who read When Blood Meets Earth or Supersized Bubblegum and see other fat women. Some people call Supersized Bubblegum a cult classic. They was like, this is a cult classic. And I'm just like, I don't know, maybe let's just see. Let's just see. But to know that I am working so hard and that is being translated to the people that get it, that I mean, I can't ask for nothing else really.
If you could create a new holiday, what would it commemorate?
Oh man, this one is hard because I don't know. My first initial reaction is an anti-holiday. Like with it just a holiday for all the tired people, like we're just all tired. And so on that holiday, we there's no gift buying, there's no performance needed. We all still get paid. Matter of fact, the government pays us tired ass citizens for working hard all day, 9 to 5s, kids. You just want to break and you just want to sit and you just don't want to do anything and you don't want to worry. And it'll be the anti holiday, just everything you do for all the other holidays, you do the complete opposite. And that's not gather, that's not go and see other people. You just sit on your couch, watch Netflix, and eat chips and have crumbs all on your chest and just sit there and do nothing and just celebrate nothing.
It seems antithetical to the holiday to, I think I used the right word, to ask this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What day or time of year would you suggest we celebrate this day?
Oh, what day of time of year? I don't know, but I would suggest that it would be around March 26th because that's my birthday. No, I'm sorry. I was like, and also around March, all the holidays are kind of like all the major holidays. Like you just had Christmas, you just had Thanksgiving and Christmas. Then you messed around and had New Year's, and then you messed around and had Valentine's Day, and then you messed around and had Good Friday and all that other stuff. So technically, around March, everybody's tired. So I would say March.
Why create?
All right, we're down to the big question. Why create? Not to be that person, but I have to think about like what does create mean? And like by definition, it's to bring something into existence. It's to cause something to happen as a result of one's actions. I might be wrong, but I'm thinking that's by definition what create means. And as a creator, the ability to bring something into existence that wasn't before is the closest thing to the creator that we can be. To take our talents and the things that we are blessed with and to bring that forward in a world, you are literally leaving your stamp on existence. And the reason I create personally is because I grew up amongst a Black community. I went to a Black elementary school, I went to a Black high school, I went to Jackson State University, which is an HBCU. I grew up in a very heavy Gullah Geechee community that was in Mississippi. I grew up around folklore, Black folklore, Southern folklore. I've always seen myself present in stories. And when I finally left Mississippi, I realized quickly it was a culture shock that not a lot of Black folks, my people, were connected to their roots. There was a severance of sorts that has happened. And I think we see it in this age, especially in this moment where we are being erased from museums, from history, from schools. And we also see it when, you know, Sinners, one of the best horror films that came out, didn't even get the recognition from this past award show, right? It is our responsibility, I feel, and like I said, this is my opinion, it is our responsibility to not be erased. I think as Black folks, we cannot become a footnote in our own stories. We cannot become a footnote in our own journeys. We cannot continue to let the white man or someone else tell our stories. And lastly, the reason why I create and the reason why I say this is because my great grandmother is still living. She's still kicking. And when I talk to her about, for examples, there are songs in Gullah Geechee that people used to sing back in her day when she was growing up. And my grandma grew up when she had to walk on one side of the the sidewalk and white folks had to walk on the other side, right? And there were songs that she used to sing to her and her people that would signify if someone's in trouble, if someone's sick. It was almost like messages that they used to send to themselves. And when I discovered this, one day doing family history, I asked my grandmother, I said, Grandma, why you never taught us these songs? Why you have never taught us this? And the thing that she said broke me into two. She was just like, I just didn't think you needed no more. I didn't think you needed no more. And we all need that. We all need it. Black folks from the diaspora, we need it. We need our stories. We need our songs. We need our voices to be heard. We need our films to be created. We need our scripts to be written. We need our novels to be written. We need it. And it is up to us to carry that flame to the next generation so it may live. And if we do not create, if we do not bring things into existence, if we do not cause something to happen, then we will become a footnote in history. And our stories would continue to be told by someone else that is not of the culture. So it is up to us to create, to be bold, and move that light forward.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Final thoughts. People outside the culture cannot be allowed to erase or even tell our stories. That's why Sinners was so important. Now, your art may not be Sinners, but we still need your stories. We need our stories. Thank you for joining us, whether it's your first time or this time. If you like what you heard, tell the world. Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, or go to your favorite podcast app and leave a 5-star review. Either way will help more join the conversation. And until next time, see it, hear it, speak it, live. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to skip that part. We're going to do that part again. 3, 2. This seems let me try this again.